good afternoon to some of you by the time you get to watch this, and perhaps good evening to the rest of the world. So I'm Teresa from Galway Bay Wellness, and I am absolutely delighted, privileged actually, to be doing a yoga practice today and a mindful practice and a little bit of breath work for Let's Get Connected Galway. And it is so important for us to not only look after our physical health, but we also need to look after our mental health. So this is a mental health week, and there are lots of activities that have been planned for the whole week. So I'm delighted to be here for this next hour to impart any knowledge I have and my own experiences as well. So as I say, I work for Galway Bay Wellness. It is my own company. I do a lot of voluntary work as well for the Skull Enterprise Centre in Clarenbridge. And it's just great to be here. So we'll start just maybe with a little bit of breath work. The breath is very important to us. Anytime we get in any kind of emotional trouble, like we're afraid of something or we're anxious about things, we tend to use the breath, the in-breath, the out-breath. Let's practice for a little bit. So let's just get in tune, sit in a nice comfortable position, take a few breaths to yourself, in and out through the nose. Sometimes it's hard for us to breathe out through the nose, so you can breathe out through the mouth as well. So in doing so, it's very easy to do a mindful practice. And, we say we don't have time to do this. We always have 2 minutes. So we'll take the next 2 minutes to do a small little mindful practice. So all it is, you just need your if you want to practice it at home yourself, all you need is a stopwatch for 2 minutes, your breath, and maybe close the eyes if you feel like it. And we just sit in a nice relaxing position. So in doing so, we're not just closing the eyes, we're not just sitting, we're actually trying to focus on the in-breath and the out-breath. And don't forget, we will get distracted by different thoughts and emotions. So as they come up, if you're new to mindfulness and meditation, as these emotions and thoughts and stuff like that come up, we can always just disengage from them and go back to the breath. And you might spend most of the next 2 minutes trying to disengage from these thoughts that come into your mind. But anytime they do, we'll just always come back to the breath. And then I'll ring the bell at the end. And as we are breathing, how about thinking about what's happening in the body as you breathe in? There's a nice cooling sensation in both nostrils as we breathe in, and a nice warming sensation in both nostrils as we breathe out. So we could focus on that for a little bit. Just distracting ourselves to focus on just us, just me, just here right now. Remember, anytime the mind wanders, and don't forget, our brains are hardwired to wander. It's the way we're designed. It's the way our bodies, our brains are designed. So when it does wander, when you find it wandering, just bring it back into the body again and just bring it back into that breath. The simple in-breath, the simple out-breath. Okay, we have about 15 seconds to go. I'm just going to ring my little bell. And that's the end of our 2-minute mindful practice, easily done. So I'm going to get onto the mat now, and the yoga that I'm going to do today it will really be beneficial to us all, from the beginner level to the advanced level. It's all about just relaxing the body, and we'll get a few little stretches, and hopefully we'll have the feel good factor at the end of it all. So I'll see you on the mat. So if we can sit in a nice relaxing position, we'll take a few breaths again to ourselves. So this is the beginning of our yoga session. Just a few breaths to bring the mind and the body together, connect them, and the breath, the in-breath and the out-breath. Sometimes it's hard to sit still. You know, it's hard to keep the spine straight, the shoulders relaxed. So sometimes if we're a beginner, we can use a little cushion to prop us up a little bit, because it is hard to sit cross-legged like this in a meditative position. So now we've heat up the hands, creating energy. Let's breathe in that nice energy. So take a breath in, place the hands close to the nose. Breathe out, stretching the arms all the way up. Let's twist to one side, hold here, take 3 breaths. If you're not too comfortable breathing out through the nose, why not breathe out through the mouth? So in through the nose, out through the mouth, if you wish. Or in through the nose and out through the nose. And now let's come back to the center again. Keep the arms nice and high, and we'll twist to the other side. 2 or 3 breaths here. And then we'll inhale back to the center and exhale, relax your hands back down on your knees. Now let's just lower the body back onto the tailbone, just to get a nice curve in the spine, loosening up, limbering up that spine, each and every vertebra. Let's take the chin up, chest out, take a breath in and breathe out as you lower the body back onto the tailbone, the sacrum, the tailbone. Inhale again. And exhale, going all the way back. And we're not just moving the body here. Let's think about getting that nice deep breath into the body, into the lungs as we breathe in, arching the back forward. And then as we breathe out, we're arching the back all the way back, curving that spine, mimicking the cat pose. So we come all the way forward again and all the way back. And always remember, when you're doing any kind of yoga or any kind of exercise, really play to your own edge. In particular in yoga, we don't want to be straining or stressing the body. We're here to make it feel good, not to torture it. So inhaling, chin up, chest out, and exhaling all the way back. And now we sit nice and tall again. We separate the legs and we just bring the 2 feet together, and we get into a comfortable position like this. Holding on to the toes, you can wrap your hands, cup the toes with your palms of your hands. I'm going to start with the butterfly to loosen up the hips, the inner thighs. So just moving those knees up and down, nice and easy. And don't forget, yoga isn't all about, I'm not flexible enough to do yoga. Yoga is all about just empowering yourself, your body, to just disengage from the world for that hour or however long you spend doing it. And just think about releasing tension. Think about getting a little bit of a stretch, yes. Think about the feel good, the physical feel good factor with each pose. Now we're going to just bend forward, just as far as you're comfortable to go, dropping the head down if you're comfortable enough to do so. And remember, we all have different levels of flexibility in our bodies. So it doesn't matter whether your forehead can touch the floor or not here, or whether your knees are down near the floor or they're all the way up here. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you feel like you're getting a nice stretch in the lower back and between the thighs, the groin. And let's relax that left leg and that right leg. Try and relax them. Relax all the muscles. Let the breath flow freely in the body. In through the nose, out through the nose or the mouth. And now let's slowly release with a nice breath in. And as we breathe out, we're going to straighten out both legs. Give them a nice little shake, shake, shake. Now I'm going to turn lengthways on my mat. And I'm sitting. And now I'm going to lower my body all the way down, vertebra by vertebra, all the way down onto the mat. And I'm going to bend my knees, resting the feet on the mat, grounding ourselves. The mat is on the floor is on the earth. We're in touch completely with Mother Nature. And I'm just going to lengthen to the crown of my head. So I'm tucking my chin in a little bit towards my chest. Hands down by my sides. I'm going to open up the palms of the hands towards the skies. And I'm letting those shoulders relax down. We don't let the shoulders relax enough. Just let them fall down onto the mat. Be completely supported by Mother Earth beneath you. And with the knees bent like this, every single vertebra on our lower back and up as far as the shoulder, apart from the neck, are completely supported by the mat beneath us. And indeed, the neck is supported by the head and the shoulders. Now, one at a time, let's draw the two knees in towards the chest. Okay, we're going to lift the head and shoulders off the mat. The palms of the hands are still facing upward. And we're going to lift the arms up about 6 inches up off the mat. See how that feels. Take 5 or 6 breaths here. Try and relax the shoulders, even though they're being held up off the mat. While you are breathing here, why not observe the space you're in? Where are you today? What room are you in? Most of us are probably at home, working from home. Taking note of maybe the temperature in the room, the feeling in the room. And now we're going to slowly release back down again. Resting both feet back on the mat. We're going to straighten out the legs. We're going to do a big, big stretch, stretching the arms out behind the shoulders. Grabbing the mat with your heels, drawing those hips as low as possible, creating a big space between the crown of the head and the tips of the toes, and in particular between your hip and your armpit. Big, big space here. And then we relax the arms down by our sides. And ideally, we would place the palms of the hands down onto the mat or out onto the floor a little bit beside you. And we take a breath in as we lift the left leg. Just lift it as high as it wants to go. But make sure you feel a stretch on the hamstrings. And then exhale, release it down. Same with the right leg. Inhale, lift the right leg up. Admire your toes. Exhale, release the right leg. Let's bring that left leg up again. Inhale, lift it up. And breathe normally 3 circles in one direction. Just breathe as you need. And we'll do 3 circles in the opposite direction for 3, 2, and 1. And we'll finish by taking a breath in and lift that left leg one more time and breathe out, release it back onto the mat. The same with the right leg. Up we go again. Inhale and breathe normally 3 circles. Nice and easy. Now we're not just working on the muscles on the leg here. We're also working on our core muscles right across the front of the body. And we do 3 in the opposite direction. So we're using those core muscles to lift that right leg as well as the muscles on the leg. And now we'll inhale, lift the right leg, and exhale, release it down. Okay, let's slide the arms out parallel to the shoulders now. And the shoulders are nicely rested on the mat beneath you. Let's take that left leg up again. Take a breath in, breathe out, stretch it across towards the right side. See how that feels? We're getting a twist in the spine here, stimulating nerve endings in the spine. How about looking towards your left side? So the foot is stretched out towards my right side and I'm looking towards my left side. And now you can really notice as you breathe in, not just the chest rises, but also the belly. And that's quite important. That's the lower energy powerhouse in the body. So let's release that side now. Inhale and exhale, release it back down onto the mat. So let's go up with the right leg. Inhale, lift all the way high, and exhale, stretch across to the left side. And again, we're not just getting a stretch here, you're noticing how your body is feeling as well. Getting a nice twist in the spine. Some of us feel a good stretch around the hip joint, the muscles around the joint. And we're looking towards the right side. Sometimes these stretches promote a nice big yawn, so don't be shy in doing it. Nice big yawn whenever you need to. And now let's release this side. Inhale and exhale, release the leg down. Okay, arms down by our sides again. I'm going to bend the knees, bring the heels in close to the buttocks, and we draw the hands right in towards our sides now. And we're going to lift those hips and just go as high as you want to go, rolling up onto the shoulders. And we rest here for a little bit. See how this feels. This is actually a really good pose for our mental health, among others. Just a really good thing to let the blood flow to the head. So anytime we're not in great form, if we're in a space where we're able to do this, it's no harm in doing so. So we're kind of resting, I'm kind of resting my upper body on the back of my head and my upper arms and parting my shoulders. And now I'm going to release down again. Just come down vertebra by vertebra, nice and easy. And now after that, we inverted the spine. So now we'll draw the knees in towards the chest and we just rock side to side. It's a great way to soothe the spine, all the muscles around the spine, the paraspinal muscles. Let's make nice little circles here with the hands resting on the kneecaps. So circles in one direction and circles in the opposite direction. Here we're loosening up the lower part of our back. We all get tight there. We move our back, the upper back and the middle part a lot, but we don't move the lower back quite as much. As a result, the hamstrings can get tight. Okay, so now we're going to rest both feet back on the floor again. We're going to take the arms up over the head all the way high. And we're going to drop that right knee all the way in towards the left foot. All the way in as far as you're comfortable to go, remember. And we can just stay like this for a few breaths. You can decide to let the left inner thigh lock in over the right one. You don't have to. So we're feeling a great big stretch now from the right knee all the way through the right armpit and up onto the fingertips. This is a nice stretch you could do in bed in the morning before you get out. Now let's release that side, come all the way back up. Now we're going to drop the left knee down towards the right foot, all the way in as far as you're comfortable to go. And then we let the right inner thigh lock in over the left. So we're tightening up the inner thighs. Don't forget to breathe. Don't forget to focus on that breath. And when you're breathing out, you're drawing your navel in towards your spine. So we're strengthening this area in the body all the time. And now we release that side. Perfect. And we bring the hands down by our sides. We draw the knees in towards the chest, adjusting your spine. We're going to slowly support the backs of the knees. We're going to slowly straighten up those legs. Now, if we have tighter hamstrings, it's going to be hard enough to straighten up those legs. So we just bend and straighten a few times, see how we get on. You can do this with or without the help of the hands. You can decide to bring the hands down by your sides or remain holding on to the backs of the knees. So we take a breath in as we draw the knees in towards the chest, and we breathe out as we stretch those legs high, like as if you're supporting the ceiling above you. Inhale again, knees in towards the chest. The belly and the chest go up, and then exhale, draw the navel in towards the spine as you straighten up those legs. And most of us are going to feel this really beneficial to the back of the legs, going all the way up as far as the hips. Okay, we'll hold here. Let's see how this feels. Loosen up the ankle joint while you're here. Why not do something beneficial for the ankles? We'll be moving them around later on. Okay, now if anybody feels comfortable enough to do so, they can take the feet apart, turning the toes towards the earth, towards the floor. You can support with your hands if you wish, nothing wrong with that. If the legs shake a little bit, that's fine too. It's not a sign of weakness. It's just the muscles reacting to their stretch. And now we bring the feet back together again. We're going to bend both knees and rest them down. Okay, little stretch for the hamstrings. Let's draw the left knee in towards the chest. We're going to open it out towards the left side. And we're going to stretch the right arm out to the right. And if you're feeling a nice stretch here on the innermost hamstring muscle, that's good. If you want a better one, grab a hold of the arch of the foot. Open up a little bit. And if you think you'd like to go a step further, you might decide you want to straighten out the right leg. See how that feels. Or just keep it bent, one or the other. And if you're straightening it out, you might want to lift the heel up off just hover above the mat. You get a nice stretch across the hip flexors. Okay, so we'll see how that feels. Again, this left leg might shake a little bit. That's perfectly okay. And now we're going to think about releasing. So we're going to rest that right foot back on the floor again. Cross your left foot in over the right knee. Okay, see how that feels. Open up the left hip a little bit by pressing gently on your left knee. And then we'll draw the right knee in towards the chest. Now, this doesn't have an awful lot of effect on the right leg, but it does on the left, all the way down to the glutes, the buttocks. We're getting a nice stretch going there. If you ever become uncomfortable in a pose like this, move the foot up or down the leg, whatever you want to do. You can decide to thread your needle, wrap the two hands around the knee or the back of the leg, or you can decide to let the leg do the work itself. So drawing that right knee in towards the chest and just relax that left leg. If anybody would like to, we'll be here for another few breaths. You can decide to straighten up that right leg. I love the soothing sound of the rain on the roof. And that's what's happening right now. Okay, we're going to release now. So let's bend that right knee. Press the foot back down. We're going to shake out the two legs. Just shake, shake. Make sure they're comfortable. And now we're going to grab a hold of the right knee, draw it in towards the chest and out towards the right side. And then just to balance that, we're going to stretch the left arm out to the left. If you feel you're getting a good enough stretch on the innermost hamstring on the right leg, rest there, hold on. If you decide you want a little bit more, grab a hold of the arch of the foot and open up a little bit. And then if you want to go a step further, you can decide to straighten out the left leg and maybe hover above the mat a little bit just to get another stretch while you're on the left side, while you're getting one on the right side. We're holding here and we're breathing. And try and let that breath flow as smooth as possible in yoga. Thinking expansion as you're breathing in, expanding the chest, expanding the belly. Those lungs are inside there in the chest. And then relaxing back into the body again as we breathe out, navel towards the spine. Okay, now we're going to think about releasing. So let's bend that left leg, rest the foot on the floor, cross your right foot in over the left knee, open up the right hip by pressing gently on the right knee, and we draw the left knee in towards your chest. Now move around the mat here, make sure you're comfortable. You can move the leg also, adjusting your pose also, always to suit yourself. We're all built differently. So the right hand can go down, thread the needle, wrap it around the left knee, and the left hand can come from the outside. And you can hold this pose with the head and shoulders off the floor like I'm doing, or you can also rest the head and shoulders back onto the floor. Or you can decide to let the leg do a little bit more work, the left leg, and relax your arms down. So if there's a lot of tension in the lower back when you're doing these exercises, these poses, you can always bend the knee a little bit so there's less pressure on the hamstrings. Okay, so now we're going to think about releasing. We'll shake out the two legs. We'll crisscross at the ankles. We'll lift up off the floor, grab a hold of the outer part of both feet and draw them in towards you. We'll get a nice stretch on the outer lateral sides of both ankles. So drawing the feet in towards you, pushing the heels away from the body. And that stretch should feel really nice for us. Feels really good for me anyway. And now we're going to slowly release. Perfect. Now before we come up to sitting, I'm just going to do one more little yoga pose here. So we have the two knees together, 2 feet together. And we're going to just let the 2 knees fall apart. It's a restorative yoga pose. We join the feet as we're doing that. And don't worry about where the knees are, whether they're up here, if there isn't an awful lot of give in the inner thighs, or if they're down a little bit, or, you know, just we're trying to open up the hips here a little bit. And we're also trying to, we hold a lot of emotional tension around this area in the body, around the solar plexus, around just below the navel, that area we have built up over many years, over many months, maybe even just the last week. So let's relax those 2 legs, giving us a nice stretch between the legs. And just when you think that you've gotten enough out of the stretch, just let the 2 knees fall even further. Let them melt into the floor. Let those hips melt into the mat beneath you. Close the eyes if you wish. I'm going to stay here for about a minute. We're nearly halfway there already. But this is a nice little posture to do, to release emotional tension from the body. So thinking about anything you want out of the body, any tension anywhere, both physical and mental tension. And mental tension in the head can also show up as physical strain on the body, weak shoulder, sore hip. They're all connected, all connected. Okay, we're going to think about releasing now. So nice and easy, be kind to your spine. Bring the 2 knees back together and we'll either wrap the 2 arms or hands around the knees or simply place the hands on the kneecaps, my favorite, and make nice big slow circles to energize the spine again. Now from here, we're going to roll over and we'll come on to the hands and knees. So let's roll over to our preferred side and we'll come up onto the hands and knees. Okay, so now we're resting on the hands and knees, and let's get a nice stretching going in the body, in the spine in particular. So we take the knees apart, use the full width of your mat as a gauge. Feet, toes are almost together, and we'll drop down onto the forearms, and we'll attempt to draw the hips towards the heels. Now, some of us, our bodies are designed to never be able to sit on the heels. Some of us are okay with it. There are actually two different yoga poses. One is where you're not sitting back on the heels, you're resting like this, forehead to the floor, arms stretched out or arms folded. And then the other one is if you decide to go all the way back and rest the forehead down on the mat and arms folded or arms stretched out. So whichever way you want to be right now, take 5 or 6 deep breaths. Perfect. And now we're going to think about releasing. So bend the arms, draw the hands back towards the head, and let's come back up onto the hands and knees. We bring the knees back to maybe hip distance apart, and my hands are shoulder distance apart. And we move that spine again. So we'll arch the back up like the cat, look back towards your hips. Then we'll arch the back down, belly towards the floor, lifting those hips, creating a lovely curve in the spine, chin up. Don't forget to lower the shoulders, creating a nice space and a good stretch between the chin and the navel. Some of us will feel this all the way down as far as the belly button. So let's take a breath in here and then breathe out as we look back towards the hips, all the way out. Just being kind to your spine, play to your own edge all the time in yoga. Don't do anything that hurts the body. We don't want to feel any pain. What we want to feel is, it's okay to feel tension in the muscles as we're stretching. But the general overall feel good factor that comes with just moving the body in different directions, getting in and out of poses safely. Okay, so we're back to hands and knees again. And we're going to do a little balancing act here. So we're going to lift the left arm out and the right leg at the same time. So inhale as you lift them out. And let's hold here and breathe for 10 breaths. Turn your toes towards the floor to get a better stretch, maybe around the calf muscles. And now we release. Okay. Now the right wrist might be tender at this point, so maybe we just might want to shake it out a little bit. And then we're going to stretch the right arm out and the left leg. Reach out, stretch back, then turn the toes towards the mat if you wish. And we breathe here, try and stay as still as possible. A good way to stay fairly still is to just focus your eyes on something, maybe on the mat or something on the floor, actually something that just doesn't move. To keep the balance. Okay, we're nearly there. And we'll do one more big stretch. Breathe in and breathe out to release. Perfect. Now from here, we'll come all the way down onto our bellies and the chest. This is called the prone position. We'll fold the arms and we'll just rest here for a little bit, loosening up the hips again. See how the back feels. Okay. So all the next poses that we're doing, including the last one, they're all really good for the backs of the legs, the buttocks, strengthening each and every one of them. So we might decide we'd like to bring our hands down by our sides now, palms facing the floor. And we'll take a breath in as we lift the left leg. So just lifting it up, hold it, hold the breath. And exhale, release it down. Let's do the same with the right leg. Inhale, lift up, hold it, and exhale, release down. Some of us prefer to do these poses with the arms folded, so try both. Inhale, lift the left leg again. Exhale, release it down. And inhale, lift the right leg, hold it, and exhale, release down. Now we'll do one more on each side. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, release down. And inhale, lift the right leg. And exhale, release down. We do the same thing with the upper body. Let's bring the hands down by our sides now. Maybe grab a hold of the hips. Okay, so it's hard not to breathe down here because your lungs are under a little bit of pressure from the weight of your upper body. So let's rest the chin on the mat. Relax the shoulders. You could join the hands behind the back if you wish, or simply hold on to the hips, or simply rest your hands on the hips. Inhale, lifting the upper body. Now use your belly muscles to hold you here and your paraspinal muscles in your back. Exhale, release down. How does that feel? Let's do it again. Inhale, lift again. Holding your breath. And then exhale, releasing down. And one more time. Inhale, lift again. And exhale, releasing down. Okay. Now we'll relax again. Let's bring the hands forward, fold them. Rest the chin or forehead on the folded arms. You could rock the hips here if you feel like it. Now let's see how we get on with, lifting the upper body and the legs together. Just going to move forward on the mat here. Okay, so don't be surprised. I'm just going to lift my legs up off the floor a little bit. I'm lifting my upper body as well. So it takes a little bit of getting used to. So we're going to lift the upper body and the legs together as we breathe in. Let's try this. And then exhale, release it down. Let's do two more, see how we get on. So inhale, lift again. Hold the breath and the pause. And exhale, release again. Keeping the shoulders nice and low, making space for your neck. Inhale, lift again. Hold. And then exhale, release. Okay. Now some of us might like to go a step further by bending both knees, grabbing a hold of the feet, and we can lift up again. Or you can do the previous one. We hold here for 3, 2, and 1. And release back down again. Perfect. Okay, so let's do a twisted cobra pose. So let's slide the hands down next to the side of your chest, perhaps. A good gauge here is if you lift the upper body, your own body, lifting your own body, resting the hands wherever they're comfortable and the wrists, and drop the chin down again. Keeping the shoulders nice and low and elbows towards your heels. So we're going to lift the upper body and then a gentle twist towards your left side. And we'll hold here, get the chin up. Perfect. And then exhale, release back down again. Let's do the same on the right side. Well, nice and easy, keep the hips on the mat. Just as far as you're comfortable to go, and then twisting towards your right side. And exhale to release. Now we do 2 more on each side. So inhale, lift. And a gentle twist towards your left side, holding. And then exhale to release. And we'll inhale and twist to the right. And then we'll exhale to release. And we'll just do one more for good measure. Lower the shoulders, elbows towards the heels. Inhale, lift, and a gentle twist towards your left side. And exhale to release. And the same on the right side. And releasing down. Now we've done a lot of back bends here from lying on our belly, so now it's time to lengthen that spine again. So we'll come up onto the hands and knees with a nice big deep breath in, and as you breathe out, sitting back on or towards the heels, remember whatever suits your needs today. The knees can be together or apart, whatever works best for you. You can decide to stretch the arms out, or fold them, or bring them down by your sides and let the shoulders roll out over the knees. This is called the child's pose, the fetal pose. We're protecting our body. It's a lovely restorative pose. It's a lovely pose to do. To just calm that body and let the breath flow freely. Next, we're going to do a pose that's probably the best stress relieving pose in the whole wide world, and it's called downward dog. So we'll come back up onto the hands and knees. We'll walk those hands to the upper corners of the mat. Again, we're going to feel blood flow to the head here, and it should feel really good. We curl the toes under, and we take a breath in, and we'll slowly peel ourselves up off the mat. And we're now in our downward dog position, where you can decide to pedal it out like I'm doing here with my legs, or you can decide to just stay nice and still and hold and breathe. I like to pedal it out for a little bit, opening up and loosening up those hips all the time. And again, pay attention to your shoulders and try and make sure that they don't hunch in around the neck. So give that neck nice and bit of space. So we can have the hands apart, bend the elbows a little bit, so just to get the shoulders nice and wide. Okay, in a few moments now, I'm going to lift my left leg as high as I can. Okay, and you can do the same thing. So let's draw the right heel towards the earth. Let's take a breath in and lift that left leg all the way up. Maybe bend the knee, let the foot fall towards your right side. And let's hold here for a little bit. Let's just do 5 breaths. And now we release. Okay, steady up again. Let's draw the left heel towards the earth this time. And we breathe in, lifting the right leg all the way up. Bend the knee, let the foot fall towards your left side. We'll take 5 or 6 breaths here. Adjusting all the time, making sure you feel good, strengthening those upper arms, those shoulders, 2 legs. And now we'll release again. Perfect. Now we'll drop down onto the hands and knees. We won't do the plank today, but we're going to do a stretch for the hip flexors. I have a pad that I support my knees with. You don't have to use it. You could roll up the mat a little bit, use a cushion. I'm going to rest my pad underneath my right knee, and I'm going to take my left foot forward, making sure that I can see the toes out underneath this left knee. And I'm going to place my 2 hands on my knee and just going to hinge forward and back a couple of times to see how that feels. Now here you should be feeling a nice stretch on the left hamstrings, right quads and hip flexors. So basically from the knee through the hip on the right side. See how that feels. Now you're welcome to hold here, resting the 2 hands on your knee, or you can fold the arms, or you can decide to go a little step further, a little bit more work for your core muscles. Let's stretch those arms up And breathe. Let's take 5 breaths, whatever position you're in. Open up your left knee to the left a little bit if there's a hip compression that causes a bit of tension. Trying that the breath flows freely as possible. Okay, I'm going to rest my left hand on my knee now, and I'm going to drop down onto the right hand or right forearm. Do whichever one you want to do. And then I'm going to turn my toes out towards the left side, and I'm going to twist up to the left. Some of us might like to open up the chest a little bit, and then some of us might like to just rest a hand on the knee, whatever works for you. Now we're going to think about releasing. So let's release the left hand back down onto the knee, and we'll come back up onto that right knee. And we'll bring the left foot back. Now we'll do the same thing on the other side. So I'm moving my little support over to my left knee, and I'll take the right foot forward. And again, I'll rest my hands on my knee, hinging forward and back just to feel where you're going to go, basically. See how it feels. Practice a little bit. And you can go as deep as you want into this stretch. So you can either rest the hands on the knee, fold the arms, or decide to go a step further. Stretch those arms up. Open out the right knee towards the right. And now we'll think about releasing. So we're going to place the right hand on the knee, left hand on the mat, or left forearm, left hand or forearm. If the wrists are tender, rest on the knuckles for this time, whichever you want to do. And then we'll open up to the right side. You can open out the right knee to the right. You can keep your right hand on your knee or twist up to the right. And now we'll release. Okay, so we're coming all the way back up onto the left knee. And we're going to stand for the next few. So we take our time getting up. We'll stand nice and tall. We might shake out the legs and the arms a little bit. Standing poses can be the more difficult ones to do, as well as inverted poses where the legs might be up over your head, or like in the plow pose. But here your brain is that bit further away from the floor, so it's harder to balance. So we're going to take the feet apart to maybe good distance, whatever works best for you. See how that feels. And I'm going to turn my left foot to the left, looking towards my left side, and just bend that left knee a few times. See how that feels. If you're new to yoga, sometimes we don't know how far we can go. So just try and play to your own edge. No need to overstretch at any stage, any level. Let's bring the arms out, breathe in, relax those shoulders, and breathe out as you bend that left knee. Adjusting your feet if you need to. And let's hold here for 5 or 6 breaths. Don't forget, when you're breathing in, chest goes out, belly goes out. When you're breathing out, they all fall back into the body again. We're constantly strengthening our core muscles. Okay, so from here, let's drop the right hand and we'll stretch the left arm up. Now again, it's hard to balance here, so if you're not comfortable looking up at your left hand, why not pick a point somewhere else in the room you're in to focus on? And now we'll just do one last pose in this flow, arms back level with the shoulders, and we'll rest the forearm on the knee next. And you can decide to rest your right hand on your hip, or you can twist up to the right. And now we release. Releasing, straighten up that left leg. We bring the 2 feet back a little bit closer again. And then we turn the right foot to the right. So we're looking in the opposite direction now. Bend the right knee a few times. Okay, arms out, breathe in. Breathe out as you bend that right knee. Get comfortable again with your stretch. Practice makes almost perfect. So feel a good stretch here on the right inner thigh, left inner thigh, right hamstrings. We're strengthening those quads here, the muscles just above the knee. Okay, now we're going to slowly raise the right arm, dropping the left arm, stretching high. You might feel that stretch coming from your right hip now. And again, if you don't like looking up, pick a point somewhere else in the room, the space you're in, that you can focus on. Okay, now we'll just rest the right forearm on the right knee. Once you're comfortable there, you can simply rest your left hand on your left hip here, or you can twist up to the left. So we get a nice generous twist in the spine as well. And we release the left hand and we straighten up the right leg. So we bring the 2 feet back together again and we'll shake them out, shake, shake. We get a nice little stretch going here now for our sides. So before we do that, place the hands on the hips and do a few little rotations for the hips. Knees bent slightly, just protect your knees and your back. And we'll go the other way around for 3, 2, 1. Now I'll place my right hand on my right hip. This is going to protect my back. We're going to take the left arm up. Inhale, stretch it all the way high. Exhale, over towards the right side. Hold here. Again, if you're not comfortable looking up at your left hand, look somewhere else. Keep that neck nice and comfortable. No need to let the head drop or anything. Just kind of lengthen through the crown of your head. Let that energy flow freely in the body. Let the breath flow freely. Now we release. Inhale and exhale. Release the left hand onto the left hip. Let's take the right arm high. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale across to the left side. And then we release again. Okay, I'm a great one for one more. So let's do one last pose. So I'm just going to turn on my side so you can really see what we're doing. It's the chair pose. We're going to activate the hamstrings and the glutes. We need to keep those nice and strong. And the glutes are the biggest muscles in the body. They are our buttocks. So let's keep them nice and strong. Let's bend the knees. Take a breath in, stretch the arms all the way up, tighten up the buttocks, arch your back as much as you want. Breathe out, coming all the way down, arms back behind us, come all the way back up again. Inhale as you lift the arms up, exhale as you release. Inhale, we're doing 5 of them, come all the way back up, exhale, release down. Activating those hamstrings and glutes. Inhale, come all the way high again. Exhale, release down. And one last one where we're going to hold. Bend the knees, keep the arms up, and hold here. And breathe. You feel really good after it. Lean back on the heels to activate the glutes and the hamstrings a little bit more. 3, 2, and 1. Breathe in, stretch high, and breathe out, relax the arms down. Perfect. We'll just shake out the legs. I'm going to sit again, and we're going to do a little mindful practice here at the end. It's called Shavasana. So you can all lie on your mat or whatever you're on right now. And I'm going to get into a pose called Shavasana. It's the corpse pose, which means we won't be moving too much. So I'm sitting, but you'll be lying on your mat. And you can let the left foot fall out to the left. You can do the same with the right leg. You can also, if the lower back is any bit tender at all, you can bend the knees for a little bit. Arms down by your sides, palms facing slightly upward and slightly inward. And we'll just do a few minutes because that's what we've got left. A mindful practice, looking after our mental health. Let's get in touch with that breath again, a great way to bring the mind and the body together. The in-breath and the out-breath. I will ring the bell at the end. And you can repeat these words. It's a loving kindness meditation. You can repeat these words into your own mind. It's good to love ourselves, show ourselves a little bit of self-love, self-compassion. May I be free. So all positive vibes here. May I be free of all mental pain in my body. May I be free of all physical pain in my body. And may I be well and happy. May I be well and happy. Next we'll think about our families. We all have a family, some with rather large families, some with maybe just a simple few. But think about those people you consider your family to be. Name them into your own mind. Put a face to the name, very important. Give them a little smile. May my family be free of all mental pain. May my family be free of all physical pain. May my family be well and happy. Next, we'll think about someone special in your life, somebody who might need a little bit of encouragement, sending nice positive vibes towards them. You're thinking about them in a good way. That is good enough. So we think about a special person. They might be doing very well, or they might be suffering a little bit right now with isolation and all that this pandemic is bringing with it. May this special person, say the name into your own mind, be free of all mental pain. May this special person be free of all physical pain. And may this special person be well and happy. Now we'll come back to ourselves again, because you are the most important person in your life to keep well. Nobody else knows how you're feeling on any given day. Even when you tell them, they still don't know how you're feeling. So we'll maybe set a little intention for ourselves for maybe the rest of the day, or to do good things for yourself. Do nice things for yourself. You feel good after. Fresh air is always the best. A little bit of exercise. mental and physical health. So set your intention now. What am I going to do to make me feel better? And a great instant mood changer is thinking about all the things that you're grateful for. Practicing gratitude always works. So we'll think about 5 things that we're grateful to have in our lives. 5 things, 5 people. And now I'm going to ring the bell 3 times. Mindful bell. So whatever you're doing, now you're going to stop because you're going to hear the bell. And let that sound resonate with you. It's a great mindful practice. A simple mindful bell. And to finish, you may still be lying on your mat in Shavasana pose, or you might be sitting up. Thank you all for joining today, or whenever you will get to see this. And anyone who's looking for me, you can find me at info@galwaybaywellness.ie or Facebook Galway Bay Wellness, or I do some work in the Skull Sanctuary in Clarenbridge. You can get in touch with Will there and he'll find me. And I will say thank you very much. Look after yourself mentally as much as you look after yourself physically.